All right. Well, here we are at that three after mark. Thank you, Greg, Jamie, Mary, all for being here. We did have a couple others sign up. Sometimes people can't make it. But either way, we are recording this, so I will send this out to everybody who's a participant of this. In time, this will land on the Studio 301 website as just an educational page itself, just showcasing the different webinars, different recordings that we've done. But by way of a brief intro, my name is Kyle Asperger. I'm the founder and creative director of Studio 301. We're a marketing solution for mission-driven organizations. A lot of times that's nonprofits. What we really kind of specialize in is simplifying and really just kind of targeting the brand narrative. That could be anything written, it could be anything visual. And oftentimes that's really where we come in, help and shake things up. And so as part of that, a lot of education of just saying, here's kind of what's going on, here's where we see a couple holes. And so that's kind of the primary emphasis behind these different free webinars is just it's a free educational opportunity from top tier individuals. And on that note, I'm going to hand it over to John, who both he and I are kind of getting over colds right now. So forgive any coughing along the way. We'll do our best to minimize that. But he is the founder of Gimbal Path. It's a division of New Ride Design. He's just a real badass guy that I've come to partner with along the way, and I respect what he has to say. So, without further ado, we have the order of things brought to you by John Rottier.
Thanks so much, Kyle. Appreciate that introduction. Pleasure to meet you, Greg, Jamie, and Mary. Thanks for joining. We have a very short period of time to go through this order of things, which usually I do in about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, speaking to people in a conference room, classroom kind of style. So I'll move really quickly through a bunch of it. But yeah, my background, I was lucky enough to just a little bit about me, so you know where I'm coming from. I was blessed enough to be the sixth guy in a startup software company in 1999. I was the marketing director and helped grow the business from six. I was the sixth employee to over 150 full-time employees in the mid 2000s. Also from $0 in revenue annually to $68 million in revenue until we were acquired by Oracle. And basically, I did just about everything and anything except for hardcore program, the software that we were selling for millions of dollars to insurance companies. After the acquisition, I really missed the energy and vision and passion that small businesses had. So I really wanted to focus in that area. And my unique value proposition, which is how I bring the order of things to you today, is having the ability to look at a business holistically and to protect people's budgets and time, right? By building a foundation structurally, properly, before going off and spending all sorts of money on advertising or being attracted by that shiny object, the latest new thing. Oftentimes, and I've seen this, I've been doing this for a long time, over 2 decades, a lot of time and money is wasted without true consideration of the business. Is this really the right way to go? So that's how I came to put this together, the order of things. And what I want you to think about as we go through this is really, how should you spend your time and your money and your energy? And time is just as valuable as money, right? It's very similar. You can invest it or you can waste it. So in my consulting business with Gimbal Path, you probably know a lot of people who have small businesses, even the large, because I consult with large companies as well. Even large companies who have a marketing team of 40 people run into a lot of these same issues. And just a lot of time and money, right, being spent in the wrong place. So it may be yourself, it may be somebody you know where they're just kind of lost and they see the GoDaddy commercials. I can build my own website, I can do this. You meet the guy who sells Facebook ads at a 4th of July barbecue and they get you all excited and say this is going to change everything. But if you're not looking at your business as a whole, you can really waste a lot of time and money. So that said, let's jump in. And because we have short time, I'm going to breeze past a couple of slides here in the beginning. We want to just assume, right, you have a great product or service. It's quality, it's ethical, and you believe in it, right? You really have a passion. There's a reason why you're doing what you're doing. With a lot of my clients, is what is exciting to you when you wake up in the morning and you know you have to go to work? Why did you start this? And I've stumped some very successful people with the question who have already made it. They've already got this, enterprise. Why did you start this business? It's a great question to ask yourself and actually write down. Next is to define that purpose, right? Write down that purpose, simplify it. Is your team aligned with that sense of purpose? Because they're going to sell for you. The people who are willing to go and sign that check and deposit it, right, that you send them, if you have staff and employees, they should be so excited to go and cash that check. They should be so excited to post something on their own social media that says, hey, there's this new thing that we're offering, right? What is the sense of purpose? Have you infiltrated your team and your staff to be a part of that tribe, of that passion, why you're doing what you're doing? And then putting a real marketing hat on, the biggest marketing hat you can imagine. What is your unique value proposition? I mentioned that earlier. My unique value proposition, based on my experience, is to basically sit into almost any business situation, ask questions, listen completely, and be able to connect the dots and say, where are the strengths? Where are the pitfalls? Where are the opportunities, right? Where are the weaknesses? And do those things align? How can we shift these things around or focus in different areas, repurpose budget or repurpose time to be more aligned with what your business goals are? But really, your unique value proposition should be, if you're an insurance agent or a realtor or a financial advisor, right? Everybody on the call probably knows 20 of each of those people. What's different about how you are doing what you're doing or what it is that you're selling compared to competitors? And that defining that will also become and should become, along with your sense of purpose, some of the core aspect of the content that you're going to be sending out to the marketplace. Provide the best customer experience possible, period. People by people. I'm going to use that phrase again later when we get to the website aspect of things. Customer service, do the right thing. Sometimes it's hard because we're business owners. People can beat you up, right? Are you going to try to beat them up, in response, or are you going to do the right thing? There have been some projects that my team and I have had on the technical side where things just didn't work out. You can't please everybody, right? And to no fault of our own, where customers couldn't provide what we needed to finish a project, we sent their money back. As part of the contract was we get paid to finish this project, and we'd rather still get a 5-star review, have them happy, and say, really, nobody lost any skin here except for some time. What's the right thing to do? I recently am just about finishing up with a client who hired a company to host her website, very simple website. And they were just acquired and let her know that for a 5-page website, they're going to start charging her $125 a month to host this small website, which she really doesn't need much for her business other than if she hands out a business card or something. All of her business is really gained through networking. They wanted to charge her $125 a month, which is one highway robbery. But when she said, no thanks, I'm going to move the website somewhere else, they nailed her. They're charging her hundreds of dollars to migrate, or they can send her files, which are very difficult to rebuild the website somewhere else. They really hammered down and left a really bitter taste in her mouth. That's not good customer service. She's not going to be referring anybody to them, right? So customer service, who's answering your phones? Can they answer simple questions, right? Are they friendly? Do they understand the product? If they don't know a question, are they pleasant about that to say, I'm so sorry, I don't understand that. I don't have the answer to that question. Let me write that down and get your information. I'm going to find out and call you back. That's all people want. People want to be cared for. People buy people. They're going to buy that personality, to buy that insurance policy from you instead of somebody else because of who you are and how you're treating them. So now we get into the foundation of the digital marketing realm, but also the not digital marketing realm. And depending on where you are in your business, sometimes this slide can come first, or sometimes it can come after getting your website in place, depending on where you are. A lot of people already have websites, but they haven't done some other stuff, right? So these can kind of go back and forth. And the reason I say that specifically is the Google My Business account, which is now called Google Profile. You're not able to verify your business with a Google Business Profile until you have a website, right? You have to put a little string of code and things like that. So sometimes the website really does need to come first to get some of these things done. But fundamentally, right, foundationally, you want to get on Google. Google owns the marketplace, right? I think they're 80 some, if not 90% of the market share from a search engine standpoint. So getting that business profile together is huge. And when we get into the website and SEO aspect of things, I have a few more things to share there as well. Also, go join effective communities if it makes sense to your business. And some of these things might not make sense, right? But so this is generalized, but join the Chamber of Commerce, right? Better Business Bureau works very well for some people. And what a lot of people don't know about the Better Business Bureau, depending on your business again, is as a member of the Better Business Bureau, if you have an altercation with a customer, your membership with the BBB, they will actually work and pay for someone to come in and help work that problem out, which is great. To keep it from going to court, all that sort of stuff. They actually step in to say, we want both parties to be happy, which is excellent. So there are some good services provided by the BBB. Some clients believe in it and think it's great. It's done very, very well for them. Some others haven't, but it's an opportunity where I think it's $30 a month. It might be $60 a month, depending on the size of your business, that you can try it out, work it, see if it works specific to you. And then consider Yext to set up and easily manage all of your online profiles. Yext can take your business information, which is your name, your address, your phone number, about what you do, the category of what your business is, if you're a chiropractor or you're selling tchotchkes, whatever it happens to be. You can set up your Google profile there. And when you're done all of that, it automatically distributes it to all of the other areas online, which is great. In the old days, as I like to say, which would be yellow pages here, there, everywhere, you'd have to manually go in. If you changed the about the company, you'd have to manually go in and update all of those at the same time, which was very time consuming, or sorry, different times, very time consuming. Yext allows you to do that all in one shot, which is fantastic. So now we get to the website, and we really focus a lot on the digital marketing, digital media aspect of this, because that's the way a lot of business is done now, or at least where people end up at some point in the sales cycle. I have a client in Denver. They're a technology STEM school for kids, and they kept asking me to come in and help teach children how to build their own website. And I said, I'm not going to be the right guy. I'm very good at teaching and I enjoy it, but for me, what's the one reason to have a website? To make money, right? And it just wouldn't work out because I can't get the business head out of myself. And these poor children would be like, I want to have pictures of my puppies for everybody. But really, the only reason to have a website is to make money. It gives you the opportunity to sell when you're not available. If you're handing out brochures, your business cards, you meet people at a networking group, right? If they want to go back and find trust, know that you're alive, know that your business is real, they're going to go to your website. Another huge aspect of this, where there are some companies that really can just do social media without a website, but that's rare. When I'm doing this in front of a lot of people, I say, okay, I'd like everybody and anybody who's ever taken their credit card out and bought something directly on social media, and that's changed now with Marketplace, but how many times have you put your credit card into social media? No hands go up. How many people have taken their credit card out and put it into a website to purchase something? Right? Yeah, no, Kyle. Facebook Marketplace changed everything, a couple others, but every hand goes up. Right? Everybody has taken their credit card out at this point and purchased something on Amazon or Home Depot, right? Whatever it might be, the cool shirt that they find from a small boutique. Websites are where transactions happen. And this is where, considering your business, you can define transaction in a lot of different ways. So if you're selling a product on your website, obviously somebody purchasing that product is a transaction. However, if you're offering a service such as myself, such as Kyle, a transaction would be a phone call or somebody filling out a form, right? Requesting information, signing up for a free ebook, right? You can define what that transaction is, but that's where people do business. People are going to do business on your website. It's not going to be all distracted like social media where you see that your favorite aunt had the best cup of coffee that she ever had in her life, right next to something really serious that you're trying to say while you build your business. And most of the advertising that happens on social media points back to your website because that's where transactions happen, right? So this is why the website comes first. You want it to be simple. We want to go back to your sense of purpose and your unique value proposition. What are you offering and how does it help your customers? What is it that they want to get out of your service or product? Be very, very clear about that right at the top. We're working with a big real estate company building a massive neighborhood in Fairplay right now. And their existing website that they weren't happy with it. Huge splash page, and it just says welcome home. Nothing else. It takes up the real estate of the whole page. So you don't really know what you're doing there yet. You have to scroll to figure out why am I here and what is this really about, right? So that's their opportunity to make it very clear. This is a unique new neighborhood, right? This is a chance to be a part of a community that's growing, all this different stuff, like be a part of Colorado. It's affordable to have that extra home, things like that. Use that unique value proposition and your sense of passion to deliver who your demographic of customers are. What are they looking for? And give it to them right away. Everybody in this country is ADD to a certain level, right? So you want to give it to them immediately. Don't make them think. Don't be tricky. Don't have stuff spinning all over the place. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is how it helps you. Click here to learn more, right? Or something right below that. So click here to learn more. Call to action, call to action, call to action, right? Make it easy for people to contact you. That's really one of the biggest things. And then, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, content is so, so important because it lives forever. YouTube is the second most active search engine. So whether it's text and pages and blogs on your website or whether it's videos that you get produced, that works forever, which is fantastic. Advertising only works as long as you're paying. So keep it simple, strong calls to action, professional, make it easy for people to find how to reach out and do that transaction as you define it. I'm going to skip the slide because we're a little bit short on time. I am actually speaking at the Aurora Chamber of Commerce on May 9th, specific to SEO and how you can DIY SEO. It's really not hard. You just need someone to kind of show the pieces to you how to do it for your small business to be able to leapfrog your peer competitors. Because SEO is very different than what most people think it is in this day and age. So now we get to social media. Social media is something that takes a lot of time. It can be very, very productive. It can be very, very successful, right? However, if you don't have the money to pay a team, I always consult my clients to really set a real expectation of if this is going to work, you need to be available to engage with people. If you put a post up that has really valuable information about your product and people start replying to that post and asking information, somebody needs to be there to answer. They need to know what they're talking about, right? So social media at this point, now that your website is built, now you get into social media, make that commitment because most of what you're going to do in social media will point people back to the website to create that transaction. Networking and relationship building. This is a time thing, so it's still safe for your monetary budget. Go meet people, shake hands, show up on time, show up regularly. This has worked dramatically well for me over the years. I have people call me that I haven't seen in 5 years that I was involved in certain networking groups, and they remember me because I showed up. I was on top of it, right? They're going to remember your face. They're going to remember that you showed up on time, right? You build trust that way. So this is a very affordable way to build your business. I was very successful as a one-man operation for a very long time. I enjoyed my freedom and hit a point in my life where I was buying a big house. I was having a couple kids, and I thought, okay, I want to do a little bit more. Joined the Chamber of Commerce, joined a bunch of networking groups, and really worked that. I doubled my revenue in 1 year. There's definitely an aspect of this that works. Now and only now we get into advertising, and I'm watching the clock here because I want to make sure to respect everybody's time. Content lives forever. I mentioned it before. Advertising only works when you're paying, right? Once you stop investing in advertising, those clicks, those eyes on your brand stop, right? And that's why we want that really strong foundation before we start spending on advertising. And one of the things that was was a real trigger for me to create this order of things for you is I'd met 3 different business owners in a short period of time who all shared the same story. I'm spending like $3,000 on Facebook advertising, and I feel like I'm getting absolutely nothing from it at all. So I went and I looked at the rest of their digital profiles. Their website was terrible. It didn't communicate well. You had to click 2 different times to find their phone number. I did a ghost call. The person who answered the phone didn't know how to answer the phone, couldn't answer simple questions, right? So they're casting this $3,000 a month net out to catch as much as they could, but they had huge holes in the net. Get that foundation in place, then start advertising. And if you're willing to try advertising, make sure to commit a particular part of time to that, time and budget. Minimum usually 6 months, because it does take time to optimize. The algorithms are constantly changing. Google and Bing and everybody else, they're all in the business of continuing to take money out of our pockets, right? So you have to continually optimize, look at the data. How do we hone our message? How do we hone our advertising to really functionally work? Look at the data. But this is when you can begin advertising and really get something from it, because you've closed all those holes in that big net. Fail forward. Pretty simple, right? That's marketing. If this were easy and I could say, oh, we'll just turn this key, right? You're going to be successful. You're going to be a millionaire. None of us would be here today, right? Fail forward. Be willing to try. Find out what's not working. Find out what is working. Modify. Try again. Improve, 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 right? You have to have that mindset to continue growing and to stay ahead of your competition. And from there, you maintain and optimize. It's an ongoing thing. A website is never complete. It's a living, breathing, growing thing. It's going to continue to grow. You're going to continue to add content. Advertising is the same thing. Just maintain, optimize, maintain, optimize. But that foundation is in place now, which is great. Every business is different. So as I go through these things, we don't have the time for me to share some of these examples. But as we go through this, there are some aspects of your business you might have in place, some that you don't. And that's something I'd be happy to talk to you about, to find those. That's really where my value comes into place, is to figure those things out and start to look at where you can position yourself to save the time, save the money, or identify the pitfalls, identify the opportunities, and make a lot more with your time and money. So that's it, upward and onward. It's a lot of information in a very short time. I'm going to hand it back over to Kyle in just a moment. I offer a free 30-minute introduction call if you're interested in talking about your business and finding where the opportunities may be. But with that, thank you for hanging in there, and hopefully it's not deer in the headlights with a lot of information in a very, very short period of time.
John, thank you. That was awesome. And yes, super short period of time. We're right up on time. Liz, Jamie, Mary, if anybody has questions, I can start another Zoom shortly after this, and we can, chat for another like 5 minutes. Or along with this recording, I will be sending out both John and my contact. So if you have particular questions pertaining to anything that John spoke about, or anything and everything under the sun as far as marketing goes, both he and I are wonderful resources in that sense. And like John's 30-minute free consultation, I offer strictly for nonprofits a complementary brand analysis. It's just me recording, me going through the website and providing notes from a creative director standpoint, just to help tighten up the story where possible. Um, so yeah, with that, I see it was a pleasure. And does anybody have any questions? Okay, pretty simple. Well, John, great job, and thank you everybody for being here with us today. So,
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle, and for Jamie and Liz. Yep. Thank you very much.
all right, bye all.
Cheers. Take care.